What's up everyone, it's an Lifestyle here, and today I'm going to be doing the last episode in my series talking about buying your first Sebenza. So the context of what inspired me to do this is I remember when I was first going to buy my Sebenza, I decided, okay, I'm going to do it, I'm going to save up for one, and I was like, oh no, do I want a drop point blade, do I want an Insingo, do I want a Tonto, do I want inlays, do I want no inlays? Do I want a large? Do I want a small? I had really no clue what to pick. And so now that I've handled 3 Sebenzas and an Untitled, I feel like I have got my preferences down, and now I can do this video or this series for you guys. Now, before I get into this part of the series, which is inlays versus no inlays, I just want to say that I don't want to make decisions for you guys. I feel like there is something special about, deciding on your own exactly what kind of knife you want, and then you get it. There is a good feeling about that, and I just feel like a lot of times people would rather ask someone for their insight rather than do their own research and decide what is best for them. So I don't want to be the person to make every single decision for you, and but if you are saying to yourself, well, I want to make the decision on my own, I just don't know what I want, well, I guess that's why you're here, and so hopefully I can help you out. Let's start talking about the inlaid version. So what do the inlays do? What are the advantages and disadvantages of them? And it's pretty much just advantages. These are very nicely fit, very good fit and finish on these, and very nicely done micarta. You can't really feel the hairs of it, and there are other handle material options. There's a natural micarta, black micarta, carbon fiber, tons of different wood inlays, and I'm pretty sure that's it. All those other ones, they are kind of hard to get. Usually the micarta ones are the easiest inlays that are available to purchase, but they also thicken up the handle right here, and what that does is that just fills out your hand a little bit more and makes it more comfortable when holding it. I did have a large 31 that was a plain Jane, and so that was still pretty comfortable in my hand, but just a thicker handle to hold on to fills your hand a little bit more and makes it a little bit nicer to hold. The only disadvantage with that is it is thicker in your pocket. It's something that I never noticed, but if you do wear tighter pants, I guess that maybe you might want to go with a non-inlaid version. I don't know. I don't think that that is a reason not to buy the knife. I still think that the inlay pretty much only advantages. The only disadvantage I can see is maybe the price point is too high for you. So for a brand new large Sebenza with no inlays, plain Jane version, that is about $450, and for an inlaid version, or for a micarta inlaid version, it's about $550. So about $100 difference, or a $100 difference for inlays versus no inlays, and a bunch of people are going to flip out because they're like, how cheap is micarta? That stuff is really inexpensive, but I do think that there's a whole lot of work that goes into these, more than you think, on just a normal inlaid knife. So a bunch of people think that these are just glued on here because they do stick out. And a lot of times inlays, they're completely milled out to where they just sit inside there. They're not really doing anything. They are just looking cool. But no, these stick out and make it thicker in your hand. And there are milled out slots in here. And they use an adhesive for these that is very strong. I know it was used for something that was cool. I don't know, but it's used for a greater purpose than just putting inlays in knives. So, and they also won't even take these inlays out and like swap them out because that adhesive is so strong that they use. And so I think that that price is justified. I think that it's not like they're like, okay, well, it only costs us $50 to make these inlays, so let's just upcharge them $100 because they will just buy these knives either way. They don't even care. I don't really think that they're doing that. I think that there's a lot of work that goes into these, and it is kind of impressive, and I think that it is worth it. Now I guess that just leaves the decision up to you. Is it worth that $100 price increase? Now let's talk about the plain Jane, where it can be beneficial to the inlays, and the only real thing, like I said, it is slimmer in the pocket. The ergonomics are not as comfortable, but keep in mind they are still comfortable. Don't think that it's like this one feels horrible in your hand, this one feels great, this one feels good, this one feels really good. That's how I would describe it. Also, if you really like the snail trail look on this, as you can see, there are some snail trails right there that I'm kind of forming. I just got this refinished, so it's not as much as it used to be, but yeah, I am liking how those snail trails are coming in. They do show up a lot better on the plain Jane version, and they do look really good. They still show up on this, Like, as you can see, there's some right there, but you know, they don't come up in the middle. So if you want a knife to look really well worn over the years, I guess the plain Jane would be the better option. Also, if there's a handle material that you just don't like, maybe you don't like micarta or carbon fiber or anything. First, I don't really know how you couldn't like any material that they offer, but still, maybe you just want to go with the plain titanium, and I understand that. And I guess that's it for just the advantages of, or I guess another advantage of the plain Jane is that it is $100 cheaper than the inlaid. So let's get to the point. If I had to choose inlay versus no inlay, I would go with the inlays, just because it does make it thicker in your hand, and it is more comfortable, and I really don't see the downside. The only question for you is that $100 price point worth it to you? And for me, I think it is. What I did with my 31 is I was like, you know, I just want to buy this, and then maybe if I want a inlaid in the future, I will get that. Well, about as soon as I bought my 31 and got it, I was like, you know, I want to try out the Insingo blade. I want to try out the inlays. So then I saved up and got this. So instead of just paying $500 for this knife, or $550 for this knife at the start, I paid $450 and then $550. So I was $1,000 in on Sebenzas, but then I sold my 31. I just did lose probably around 70 bucks selling it. So I did get to try that, and I was really happy with it. But it just is something that I feel like a bunch of people will save $100 now and then end up spending $500 later. That's exactly what I did. So I would suggest, you know, if you know I want inlays more than I want a plain Jane, don't just cop out for the plain Jane. Just wait a little bit longer, and I think it'll be worth it to you in the end. So I guess my final conclusion for this series, if I had to go through them all and you don't want to watch every single episode of this, 21 versus 31, I would go with the 21, and I have videos for all of these, so if you want to know why, just watch those videos. Insingo versus drop point, I would go with the Insingo. I don't own a Tonto version, so if you know you like Tontos, just get that one. Micarta inlays versus no inlays, I would go inlays, and small versus large, I would go with the large. So I guess after hearing this whole series, this Sebenza right here is my perfect configuration out there. If I had to get a Grail Sebenza, I would get a Damascus blade. I don't even know what kind of Damascus. I like Raindrop, I like Boomerang, but I'd also get the Box Elder Burl inlays. I feel like that one looks really good. But for a user's knife, one that it's not gonna just sit in a case, this is my perfect configuration, and I really like it. And yeah, so I guess that's gonna wrap up the series here. I've had fun making this, and I'm glad that I'm able to put this video out there for people deciding on buying their new Sebenza, and I really hope that it helps someone out and making their purchase. But that is going to do it for the video. That's all I got to say today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.